When it comes to planes, stock SAS can be pretty dumb. If you use hold position, it slowly raises the nose as you travel around the planet, and if you use hold prograde and your plane doesn't have wing incidents, it falls out of the sky. And unless you spend not insubstantial extra time carefully balancing your center of lift, your craft tries to nosedive every time you touch a control input. You can use trim to somewhat offset these issues, but it comes with its own problem, in that you can't use SAS alongside trim, so any small drift will continue, which is a real pain considering how often planes randomly pick a side to constantly roll towards. Faced with these issues, a while back I came up with a solution using the axis group feature to effectively get trim to work alongside SAS, a technique I like to call active trim. As a tip, this works best when you have each set of control surfaces assigned to only one rotation axis, with a dedicated control surface for each of pitch, roll, and yaw. Additionally, I generally only use active trim on my pitch surfaces, as space planes mostly fly in a straight line and as such don't really need to care about trimming roll or yaw. To begin, we need to set the control surfaces we want to use with active trim to deployed, and then set their deploy angle to 0. Next, we open the Action Group tab and select an axis group to assign our control surfaces to. For no reason in particular, I like using the forwards-backwards RCS translation group, which corresponds to H and N on the keyboard, but you can use pretty much any axis you like, as long as it won't interfere with the other functions of the craft. For this reason, the custom axis spines are pretty handy, but you'll need to set them up for yourself in the main menu options, as they are unbound by default. And that's honestly pretty much all there is to it on the setup end. Now it's time to take it out for a spin. Occasionally, KSP will get things wrong and configure the deploy angle on the control surfaces upside down, but a quick revert to spaceplane hanger and reversing the deploy direction option will counteract that. That aside, let's take off. Once we get airborne and toggle our hold position SAS, we can see that on the pitch gauge in the bottom left, the pitch indicator is above the center neutral position. This means that to maintain pitch, SAS is constantly supplying pitch up input, and as soon as we touch the controls and SAS temporarily lets go, the craft nosedives. Now we add in some active trim. As I tap in my case, in is trim up and H is trim down, the deploy angle increases. For some reason it shows as decreasing because KSP has weird rules about the direction that counts as deploy angle up. As this happens, we can see that the SAS supplied pitch is decreasing back to 0 as tweaking the deploy angle is changing the resting point of our control surfaces, effectively building in the pitch. As the craft gains speed and altitude, the amount of trim can change, but adjusting it is as simple as a few taps on your trim axis. With our plane now properly trimmed, it is a dream to fly. And honestly, that's all there is to it. This technique is immensely useful to me, and I use it on pretty much every plane I build. I hope it'll be just as useful to you. With that said, that's another KSP Dark Arts on the books, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.